Hey guys, I'm LeBron, 19, and currently living in Connecticut. Today, I'm going to tell you a crazy story about a hobby that almost claimed my life. It all stemmed from my hobby formed exactly half a year ago, which is enjoying ants' burns. It was not long before I started studying at university. At first, it was new and exciting. But gradually, as I got used to the environment and all friends, so I became bored. There were many reasons for this boredom of mine. Because the program was much harder than high school. Because I miss my family. And because I'm tired of looking after myself. One day, I felt the boredom rising stronger than usual. So I decided to stop doing my homework and take a walk outside the dorm for some fresh air where there were some bushes. Looking at the scenery, a large sand dune caught my attention. I sat down to take a closer look and discovered it was an ant's nest. While looking at the nest passionately, I suddenly felt a slight burning sensation on my foot wearing slippers. Looking down, it turned out that my foot was in the way of the ants, which were carrying food to their nest, so the warrior ants stung me. Somewhat panicked, I stood up and took several steps away to avoid further burning and checked the condition of the burns. Strangely enough, I didn't feel anything as uncomfortable and painful as my mother used to tell me in case of being stung by ants. Quite the opposite. I felt this itch. It's hard to describe, but this insignificant burning sensation made me feel the most alive I have ever been since I enrolled at this school. From that time on, I became addicted to those ants, like drug addicts who couldn't live without drugs. Until one day, like many other times, I ran out to look for ants for some excitement before my final test. But this time, it was different. That ant nest was darkened by not only the normal red ants, but also many larger ones, which seemed to be the rove beetles. That was the first time I've seen them. Curious, I sat down to watch them closely. It looked like the first two types of ants were fighting. Partly because I was accustomed to being burnt, I didn't mind the pain in my feet until I saw several rove beetles appearing in my hands. Startled, I jumped up to find my feet surrounded by them. I didn't notice how long they had been burning me. I quickly shook the ants down as much as possible and ran towards the dorm. These bites were different from normal. They were itchy like hell, making me constantly scratch. I could even see the fluids flowing out from the scratches, and they started spreading. A few hours later, I saw red spots all over my body. So I went to look for iodine disinfectant to apply to the wound. God damn it. That was a stupid way, because it burnt even more seriously. Most dangerously, even though it was still quite bright outside, my eyes were cloudy, and I couldn't see clear to focus on studying. I realized that just after scratching the itch, I accidentally touched my eyes. Damn it. Could the poison of those goddamn ants make me temporarily blind? I was so scared I had to call my roommate for help. As he came back to our room and checked my condition, he got frightened. He took me to the infirmary. The doctor said I was seriously poisoned by those rove beetles. Fortunately, the ant toxin blindness is temporary. After the doctor gave me an injection, my vision gradually recovered. After 5 days in the treatment room, the burnt spots started to heal, but left many long-lasting bruises. I had to load up with so many antibiotics, antihistamines, and corticosteroids, all of which gave me terrible fatigue. Ever since that accident, every time I passed those bushes with the sand dune, I was still scared, and had to walk faster to the dorm. I've given up on my stupid hobby of letting ants burn just for fun. My friends from school are still teasing me. The Ant-Man, like in a movie by Marvel, making me feel ashamed. Those little animals really aren't kidding. You should never follow my footsteps.